Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Supernatural episode 1211 titled Regarding Dean, which premiered Thursday, February 9th, 2017 on the CW. And guys, before we get started, huge spoiler alert. I'm hoping you watched the episode before you're coming to check out what I thought about it. If not, go watch the episode first, because I'm telling you right now, you need to go watch it and get the full emotional impact of what this experience has cost Dean. So with that said, as well as my usual video reminders are up on screen right now. So with that all covered, let's start with the 10-minute clock. And let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, I really have no clue of how long it's been since the previous episode. So I'll just leave it at that. Episode reminder, though, it's pretty much Dean losing his memory and just seeing how that process affects him and just how it goes about doing that. So there's that. So breakdown for storyline-wise, it's really just trying to stop Dean's memory from completely going, and also it's not just his memories of who he is as a person. It's the hex that was placed on him by a family of witches that they're trying to find. It doesn't just erase Dean's memories, it erases how he does the most basic things. So eventually he's going to forget how to breathe, how to eat, how to walk, or how, like, any of the basics that we learn. That's pretty much slowly going from Dean, and then at a very progressive rate. So because of this, they have to call in Rowena for help, and so we get to see her helping the Winchesters this time, and we actually see the process of what the Dean losing his memories is like. And it gets pretty emotional, especially when Dean tries to remember even the basic things of who he is. When he can't even remember his own name, you really see it in him that it's truly terrifying. And then to have him tell Sam that he can feel it, like he feels parts of him leaving him as every memory goes. So there's that. Tidbit, something that you could say you take away from this episode is the fact that we get a little bit more into Rowena's psyche this season. She confides in the memory slipping Dean because of the fact that he won't remember what she just said moments later. But she pretty much tells him that after she saw the dynamic between God and his sister, and how they were bickering over the smallest of things, it kind of made her lose hope in achieving her own happiness if the most highest of beings couldn't do that. Because before that moment, she always thought that happiness came with power and all that, but she saw the two most powerful beings in the universe not happy, and it kind of shocked what she perceived everything to be right in her world, type of thing. Hope that makes sense, though. But anyways, end tally, though, we see Dean killing the family of 3 witches at different points in the episode. And this is the family of witches that they're the only ones who practice in this very complicated Celtic magic, according to Rowena. But Dean kills Gideon at the very beginning. He only dies, though, from the blood loss of Dean's bullet that caused from him, and then he died shortly after hexing Dean. Second, we see Dean shooting the sister, Katrina, and then later he shoots the older brother, just because Sam said he's a witch, and then Dean didn't hesitate to kill the witch as he's losing his memory. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I think I'd have to say that I was surprised by the extent the memory hex was going to affect Dean. I was thinking it was just going to be his memory. So it's like him losing the memories that made him who he was, to the point that he's pretty much going to be a clean slate, like someone who has amnesia. I thought that's the kind of Dean that we were getting at. But to learn that the memory hex was pretty much going to have him forget even the most basic of things. So eating, breathing, sleeping, any of that type of stuff that's been just always automatic for us to do, or kind of like an instinctual thing for us to do. To see that would eventually go as well was a little surprising there. But moving on from that, top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be the little sticky notes throughout the episode. I thought they were funny. The fact that even just the most simplest thing written on them, like lamp or no or open or stay or witch killing bullets, this gun, like those type of little sticky notes, I really liked. It was kind of fun to see those. Plus, it also did remind me of the movie Dean referenced, Memento, in a way, because the guy always made these little notes about what he learned and then how he had to try to remember them in a way before he would forget them again type thing. So I really like how creative they got. And I really like the fact that on the grenade launcher, it specifically had a sticky note of the word no in all caps. So that was funny. So there's that. Thankfully, he didn't get to the point where he forgot how to read. So there's that. Next favorite moment for me has to be Dean's complimenting to Rowena. He finds that he's complimenting how bouncy her hair is. He's very nice towards her. He thinks she's not a cruel person type of thing. And Rowena's like, do we have to fix him? So I thought it was pretty funny just seeing this version of their dynamic where you kind of have Dean's whole history between the two erased from him. And he's just going off of what he's getting from her at that moment. And just seeing how Rowena was treating Dean too was a little interesting, because at first when she tells him that he's a killer, I thought, oh no, she's going to twist everything around, make him not want to have the spell fixed on him. But then she actually goes and says, like, you may be a killer, but you help people before yourself. You do it for the greater good. Like, she kind of still spins it in a way that it's still the truth for him. So it was a little weird seeing Rowena like that, but I liked it. I liked it for sure. Last favorite moment for me has to be the fact that it was Sam's turn to give Dean the whole we hunt the supernatural, yes, it's all real, and then just listing all these different beings that they hunt, and then the truth behind them all. And even Sam makes note of it in the fact that this, like, how odd it was, because this is the conversation that Dean had to give to Sam when they were kids, and just to have it be in the reverse now, and it was pretty interesting to see, as well as interesting to see how Dean reacted to them initially. He thought that they were heroes. He thought that what they did was pretty awesome. The fact that monsters were real was, he was excited about that. He was excited at the very littlest of things, as if it was a whole brand new world for him, which technically it was for him. So it was just great to see that version of him. And Sam even pointed out the fact that without the weight of the world on Dean's shoulders, without that memory of it, Dean seemed happier. So, but what I like though is that Dean countered that fact that if I had to pick between being happy and not remembering any of it, and taking the burden and remembering everything, he'd rather take the burden, because he wouldn't want to forget everything that made who he is and everything that made who they were together. So I really like that as well. So moving on to top 3 peeved moments. I didn't really have any though, but a little thing was the fact that I wish we got archive footage. I mean, we got something similar at the very end of the episode when it was a montage of what had happened during Dean's little journey through his memory slipping stage as he rode the mechanical bull in the background. But I was thinking more like archive footage. What had been the most important memories that Dean would want to hold on to. So I would have wanted to see like memories like that of like old stuff we've seen before in the last 12 years worth of stuff. It's just, I was kind of hoping for that when I heard about the synopsis for the episode. So my peeve comes from the fact that I was disappointed we didn't get any. So there's that. Moving on to what will I remember most when I look back on this episode, Dean losing his memory for a short while. We also got major confirmation that he's told that Castiel is his best friend. So there's that as well. Because I forgot to mention that earlier. But moving on to random questions, I only have the one, and that was, does Dean really not remember what Rowena had told him during his little memory slip about her confiding in him about what she thought after seeing the conflict between the two most powerful beings in the universe? I felt like it should have been something that Dean should remember. Maybe it might affect how he sees her later on. But if he doesn't remember, then that kind of seems pointless. But I guess for Rowena, it meant getting it off her chest and stuff. So there's that. But moving on to predictions very quickly, though. Based off the promo for 12/12, it looks like Castiel is suffering from something similar to the black veins we experienced with the darkness, and he thinks he's dying. So instead of in his last moments, he doesn't want to see the Winchesters die in those last moments of his life, so he tells them to run. But it also looks like the 3 Winchesters, Mary is back, are hunting something, and it seems they're gearing up for it. So there's that, though. Based off the synopsis, though, for 12/12, it looks like Richard Spade Jr. is back to direct, and it reads that Mary asked Sam and Dean and Castiel for help on a case she's working, but neglects to mention the British men of letters are involved. When Mary is double-crossed, everything is revealed. So there's the timer. Questions, naturally. Mary's going to be double-crossed, so if it's by the men of letters, which I really think it is, then shouldn't that prove that they're no good? They really have an ulterior motive that they're not sharing with them. So that might also confirm my suspicion that they might be the second big bad of the season if Lucifer and his Nephilim child aren't the major one that we're dealing with. So there is that. But otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say. Yep, I'm pretty good. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think is going to happen in the upcoming episodes. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff found in one place. So follow me there if you would like to have access to all that. Also, it's connected to my WordPress account, which connects to everything else I post online. It's more organized over there. It's still a work in progress, but go check it out and follow me there if you like. Also, if you want a detailed recap version of the episode, a play-by-play, if you will, with my in-moment thoughts and questions as I watch the episode for the first time, check out my live journal entry for that. The link for that is down below. So you can go check that out if you want it. If you missed something and I picked up on it, I know those help me when I want to know the finer details of what happened in the episode. So go check that out if you like. And that's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.